Hello YouTubers, it's me, Morgan Tracy J, coming today right here on my YouTube channel to talk to you about depression. Guys, right now, and this is the holiday season, a lot of people battle with depression, and I want to give you some tips right now on how I overcame depression and just some beautiful things that can really make you let go of that depression so you can go into 2018 without that anxiety, without that fear, without that depression, okay? So first thing I want to tell you guys is what I've learned through going through my hills and valleys with depression is that God never just opened up a door and I walked through it and depression was gone. God never gave me such a blessing that, the door opened up and depression went out of my life. What I had to learn and realize was that I had to begin to actually see my situation as something different. And once I looked at it differently, my depression went away. I want to tell you that the situation sometimes won't just change overnight. It's actually you have to change the way you look at your situation. I created on my blog right when I was battling with some depression. God gave me a revelation that said, you're not standing on shaky ground as you thought. You're actually standing on holy ground. What I want to tell you today, guys, is something that has really took place in my heart and took root into me is that depression is no longer mine. Even when I was battling it, I had to continue to tell myself that this does not have to get the best of me. This does not have to hold me captive. I want to tell you one of the first things that I began to do when I was battling depression, anxiety, fear, all that, is the first thing I did was I just had to breathe. When I started to get all these thoughts and I could start feeling this heavy weight come upon my shoulders with anxiety and fear, and will I always be stuck? And when is that door gonna open? God, when are you gonna, all these questions, you know what I had to do? I had to tell my mind to stop. And sometimes I had to literally say it out loud multiple times. Stop, stop, stop. And I just had to breathe So after I did that, you know what next thing I had to do is I had to start telling myself stuff that I knew was true. Because sometimes anxiety and fear and depression is always telling you stuff that you don't really even know. You're just scared of the future. You're scared of if this door going to open. It's always tied into something later on versus right now. What you have to do is you have to bring yourself back to the present moment. And in that present moment, just start telling yourself things that you know is to be what you know to be true. Right now, I'm sitting in my office. Literally, that's what I had to start doing. And I would get up in the morning and I would feel that level of depression. So I would start to breathe and then I would say, I'm breathing right now. I'm alive right now. I'm blessed right now. My heart is beating right now. Oxygen is in the air right now. Literally, I had to go so crazy. I would be like, this is my bed. I'm standing right now. I literally would do it until I felt myself calm down. I would say my mother's in the front room right now. I can smell coffee in the air. Literally, I had to just start doing things like that until I got out of thinking of the future situations and focused on the present moment. And that's what you need to do. Focus on your present moment. And number 3, which is the biggest thing, guys, is you got to hold on and you got to acknowledge the things that no matter how dark your season may get, no matter how long you've been in the valley, but these things have always been there for you. Okay? For me, a lot of times, sometimes it was God, but then sometimes I felt like God was silent and absent. And so something I always knew that stood by me, even when I was in my darkest hour, was love. Because I would be so depressed, but when I would see my baby nephew, oh my gosh, I would love on him for hours, just play and love. And then I would realize, I thought you were depressed. But one thing that never left me was love. Even when I was in really struggling moments, my mother would end up giving me a word or advice or something that would build my spirits up. Even when I was in my very struggling moments, when I would get into a quiet place, I would begin to talk to God, and eventually I felt loved. Okay? So what I want to tell you is I always realize that no matter how dark my season may get, how long I may be in the valley, how heavy that depression may get, one thing I know to be true is that love will never leave me. Okay? All right. So that's what I want to tell you. Tip number 3 is you got to hold on to what you know to be true. First thing for me, it was love. The next thing, it was faith. I believed that God was real. I believed that God wasn't going to leave me in no stuck situation because he is not a God to leave anybody stuck. All right. I believed that God said he was the provider, the protector, and the healer. So when I believed that, in which that brought me a hope. That brought me a hope that depression wasn't always going to hold me down. That brought me a hope that I was going to come out of that depression. That brought me a hope that I was not going to be in bondage to these things anymore. That brought me a hope. So what I want to tell you to do is, what are your 3 things that you hold on to that you know no matter how dark your season may get, you're still going to have those. No matter how long you go through your life, those will always be present. No matter if you go through a divorce, somebody dies in your family, you may be hurt, you may be sick. No matter what, those things will be present, and that's what you have to lean on. And after all that, you have to understand that you need to look at your situation differently. Sometimes the pains in your life is actually a way that God ministers to you and teaches you. I realized that through my depression, through that thorn in my heart, through that thing in my side, through that atom in that person I could not let go of, God started to minister and teach me through that pain. Instead of me running away from the pain like I usually did, I started to embrace it and say, God, teach me through this. Minister to me through this. Make me better so I can help somebody else. I want to tell you, depression was no longer mine when I decided that my situation didn't have to change, but I was going to change. That my situation may not change, no door may not open, but God, I want to change. And that's what I want to tell you today. You have to tell God you want to change. You want to change the way you look at things. You want to change in that lowliness you feel. You want to get more worth inside of you. You want to get more confidence. You want to be a stronger woman in Him. You got to tell God the things you want to change, and He's going to allow things to open up in your life so that person can come forth. Okay? So yes, God, I said so much, but literally depression does not have to be yours. And I want you to kick depression out of the way so it does not have to go with you in 2018. And what something you can do is take these 3 tips, breathe, lean on what you know to be true, like right now, talk about those things. And last but not least, hold on to the things that will never go away from you, no matter how dark your season may get. And when you believe in these things and you not run from pain, but you embrace it and you say, God is going to teach me through this pain. God is going to teach me through that heartbreak. God is going to teach me through that downfall. God is going to teach me through that financial crisis. God is going to teach me. God is going to teach me. When you believe that, you start to see things different, and your situation may not change, but everything around you will. All right, guys, I love you so much. I pray you got blessed by these tips. And last but not least, be sure you like and subscribe. And if you want some more spiritual advice and just some hope to be put inside of you, okay, head on over to my website, hisdaughterscloset.com. Get uplifted, get inspired, and God will be with you, people, okay? God is with you. He does not want you to be stuck, and He will never leave you stuck, okay? I love you guys. I will see you in my next video. Morgan Tracy J. I said a lot. I need to breathe. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Bye, guys.